Today's Google tip is about configuring your Gmail inbox. So I'm using just my sample account here. I'm going to go to my settings and settings again. And then in settings, we're going to go over to the third tab to the inbox. Right here at the top, it gives you a choice of inbox type. Right now, mine is set. I'm going to go just to this one. All of my emails are just set at the default. But there are other options. So maybe I'm going to want to change to priority inbox. You can play around with the other ones here, but priority inbox gives you several different options. I can choose, I could choose my inbox to be, I could do an important and unread first, or I could just do unread first, and then I could do starred, so that I have some that keep the important ones up at the top. I could do I don't know what other options I would use, and then everything else. So right now I have an unread, a starred, and an everything else section. So now I have to go down. Always remember in the settings, you have to save your changes. And this is going to change the look of my inbox. So now I have an unread section, a starred section, and an everything else section. I can click on the little arrow to shrink them up here if I want. So that way it just is a different way to organize it. So once I read one, and then I go back into my inbox, that will move from the unread down to everything else. So I like having mine all in one, so I just leave it on the default, but this is another option for people that like to have things organized a little differently. Again, that's in settings, and then the third tab over, inbox. And I'm going to go back to the default just because that's the way my brain works best. I'm going to save my changes. And then when I go back to my inbox, it's going to go back to the way I want it. So it never hurts to try it and play around with it a little bit to see if you like it. The other thing you can change is the configure the inbox. You can choose to have the tabs at the top of your page if you want, and that organizes things a little bit differently. So you can see that some of mine are gone. So now they're going to be in a different tab. I don't like that because sometimes I forget to check the different tabs. So I'm going to just leave that as just the primary setting, and it'll all go back then just to the one page. That's today's tip using Google Gmail.